Hi, this is Jerry Damon. My guest right now is Angela Kennecke. Angela, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
30 years in broadcasting. What's it been like for you all
That's
those
true.
years?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
It's been challenging and fun. The great thing about it is it's changed over the years, so I've been able to learn this whole time and do different things along the
Right.
way, and every day I do a different story, so
Every day.
yeah, it's been a learning experience, and it's always a lot of variety.
Now, last May, you had the shock of your life. What happened, Angela?
My 21-year-old daughter died of an overdose in May 16th of 2018.
And when that happened, what did you go through at the time?
Wow, boy. I think it's the worst thing that anybody could ever experience. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's an incredibly shocking experience, devastating. There really isn't anything about it that I can say. You know, I'm just surprised that I survived it. I'm surprised that people survive the loss of their children. You know, but you do. I mean, you're still breathing, you're still here, so you have to go on and you have to somehow make sense of what happened to you.
Now, the child's dad called you to tell you that your daughter was having overdosed. What did you experience?
Right. So with Emily, she had been a rebellious teenager and she had started experimenting with drugs at a young age. She was 21 at this time, so she was living outside of my home. But we always knew that there was some use going on, mostly with marijuana is what we knew about, maybe some pills, but we didn't realize how extreme it was and how serious it was that she had been using heroin. And we were planning an intervention because I knew something was wrong with her. So we had met as an entire family, her siblings, her dad, her stepdad, we'd all met with an interventionist, and we were planning the intervention for the following Saturday. Well, she died on Wednesday.
That soon?
Yes. And so we just didn't get to her on time, and we didn't know, she wasn't up front with us, she didn't tell us, what she was doing.
Right.
And she died of fentanyl poisoning. So she didn't know what she was buying. She bought heroin. It contained fentanyl, as little as 4 grains of salt, equivalent to 4 grains of salt of fentanyl will kill someone. So it's very deadly, and it's in almost every illegal drug out there, and she didn't know, and I consider it drug-induced homicide.
Any idea that she was actually experimenting like that before she passed on?
Not with that kind of thing, no. I mean, we knew something was wrong. That's why we were planning the intervention.
You were there when the paramedics were on the scene, right?
Yes.
What was going through at that point? What was happening?
Well, the paramedics arrived and they were trying to save my daughter's life, and she was given a couple of doses of Narcan, but it was to no avail. I mean, they spent about 30 minutes and they couldn't revive her.
And you were praying for her at the time?
I was praying. I got down on my knees and I prayed, and I prayed for a miracle, and I didn't get it. But it was too late. By the time that rescue workers had arrived on the scene, it was too late. She was alone in a room, so there was no one to really save her.
At this point, would you have done anything different looking back?
Oh. Well, of course, when something like this happens, I think any parent, second guesses everything that they did. Every way that, I think I tried tough love with her. That wasn't necessarily an effective thing, especially with addiction. I really believe you need to approach them with compassion and love. Those were things I was really working on, later in her life before she died. Always approach her with compassion and love rather than driving her away with anger. I do wish we would have acted more quickly, but given the information that we had and given her resistance and her denial, it was hard to know what to do. So I'm trying to educate people more about the problem and more about steps you can take and what you can do. And quite frankly, we're not really there yet in this country in figuring out this addiction issue and helping people. Everyone is so individualized. No 2 addicts are the same, and no 2 treatments for them are the same. So we have a long ways to go, and in understanding the brain and understanding why some people become hooked on drugs and other people don't. So we have a long ways to go.
Sharing a story right now, does that help you in the process of the grieving process?
Well, sharing her story helps me channel my grief. Sometimes it's a lot, though, because I feel like all I'm doing is talking about this and reliving it every single day. So it is a lot, but I have started Emily's Hope, which is a nonprofit in honor of my daughter, a legacy charity, to try to help other people and to try to make sure no family has to go through what my family went through. I really don't want that for any other person. So if we can get more people into treatment, if we can make people understand that this is a disease, if we can reduce the stigma and get people talking about it, that's something I can do. I can make meaning out of my daughter's meaningless death, because her death really was meaningless.
What advice would you share right now for parents who have children dealing with drugs and in the process of being, hopefully, overdosing at some point because of that? What message of hope can you share that might help parents in the process?
Well, your child is still there. The addiction takes over and it doesn't seem like they're the same person, but underneath all that, your child is still there. And approach them with love, approach them with compassion, but do act. Do whatever you can in your power to take steps to try to get them help.
How can people get a hold of you and find out more about Emily's Hope?
So we have a website, paintingapathttorecovery.org. Maybe you can share that on your website
Right.
as well. And there's a contact, you can directly contact me through that site. There's a lot of information on there. There are ways to get help. All the events that we're doing to raise money for Emily's Hope, to get more people into treatment and to stop the stigma and do more education. All of that information is on there, along with Emily's story and her artwork.
Angela, thank you for sharing the story this morning.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Making a difference in the community.
I hope so.
For I Love Life, I'm Jerry Damon.